Hello everyone! So Xbox has finally had their games showcase and they've released a lot of new gameplay of the games coming out in the next year. Now unfortunately I couldn't actually watch the showcase live, but on the positive side all the gameplay and reviews that happen throughout the showcase then get uploaded after the fact in 4K. So I actually prefer giving my first impressions, first look at a game after it's already been uploaded in 4K. It looks a lot better, obviously. At the Games Showcase, there were a lot of games released, and I do want to give my first impressions, first look at a lot of these games, but I am only one person. It might take a little bit of time, so I apologize if some of these videos come out, maybe even a week after the showcase has already happened. It is how it is. I'll try to get it done as soon as I can. But first on the list, and probably the most anticipated game of the show, and maybe of the year, is Starfield. This is one we've been waiting for a long time now. It's finally arrived. Starfield was pretty much plastered all over the Xbox Showcase banners as advertisement for the showcase itself, so we're expecting big things here. Let's take a look. Here we go. First impressions. The wonder is not that the field of stars is so vast, but that man has measured it. Come on, show me some in-game gameplay. This is crisp 4K as well. So we're expecting it to look pretty good. They've been developing this game for 7 years now. I mean, obviously there's a pre-production process and all that, but 7 years is a long time. There are very high expectations here. Here we go. Starfield. Todd Howard, mate, show me what you've been doing.
It's hard to express how excited all of us at Bethesda are to be here with you today. We're so grateful you're spending the time, and we know you've waited a long time to finally see Starfield. It's easily our most ambitious game ever. Like our previous games, it's an epic role-playing game where you get to be who you want and go where you want. But this time, you'll be exploring space. So let's jump right in. This is early in the game as you arrive on the mysterious moon of Crete.
Early in the game, okay. That's in-game? That looks pretty bloody good. Wow, that is in-game. Alright. So there's a few things here. I mean, first of all, it does look very good. Second of all, I think because of the pure size of this game and the scope of it and how big they actually wanted to make it, there's going to be a lot of procedural generation of these worlds, Like they can't have artists design every single little rock, every single little stone, There has to be some sort of procedural generation going on. Otherwise it's just not possible to do.
Research facility is in this direction.
Okay. So you have some sort of a surveying tool to view resources, view enemies. Okay, that gives me those Fallout vibes, how you can like scan in on something to find the weak spots of things. Oh, it does look good though. I'm happy with how it's looking. Crete soldier. Huh. That is some interesting design there. Look at those things. Like a scorpion with a super strange exoskeleton. Okay, it looks like we're probably going to be scanning the environment a lot. Not a bad thing, just something to take note of. It looks good though. It looks like the texture on the top of the surface looks nice. 20 experience, okay. It is an RPG. So you're probably going to be seeing a lot of those.
The pirates of the Crimson Fleet are using the facility.
Okay, that's interesting. So my question is this, if this is part of the storyline, are there always going to be these specific pirates in this location, and every single time you visit this facility, they will always be there, sort of thing? Or is this sort of some sort of, you know, sometimes the pirates could be there, sometimes maybe they won't be there, or sometimes like someone else? Not necessarily pirates, but maybe, I don't know, government of some sort? How much variance is there, you know? Okay. It looks good. The engine, that you know, that Oblivion, Fallout, Skyrim engine that they're always using, it just feels very familiar, you know? Especially with that first-person shooting, it just feels so much like Fallout. Oh.
You're gonna pay for that.
Mission updated. One small step. I wonder if this is the complete HUD. Or if there's some things they've decided maybe to just not show us yet. Oh. Jetpack boosting around, that's sick.
After some initial encounters, you're invited to join Constellation, who, in the future the game is set in, are the last group of space explorers. To meet them, you'll head to the capital city of New Atlantis.
Okay, last group of space explorers. I mean, I feel like it's so hard to fathom. Like, the scope of this game is just so big. And just showing this, like, tiny little snippets of an incredibly big town. It's hard to just, I don't know, sort of get a grasp on it.
Constellation. We have a lot to talk about. We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all.
Okay. That's like classic
Out there.
Bethesda engine right there, like the
These
faces, the
artifacts
talking
could be
faces.
everything we've been looking for. As to what they are, what they're building. You'll be part of solving that puzzle now.
You know, like the blurred background and just the faces in focus. That is such a Bethesda thing to do.
You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions?
The artifact you found appears to be one of many, scattered across the galaxy.
Oh, that
If we can
looks
find
good.
more, we can unlock their secrets.
Beautiful, isn't it? The man who sold me this told me that it spoke to him.
Of course, the settled systems is full of.
I've got a
groups
much
with
better idea
other
now.
Priorities.
I think of how they sort of did it.
The fleet doesn't follow the rules. Agree to work for UCC Steph. And together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
They sort of managed to build a game of this
We're
size.
not just here to shoot the bad
You do just have
guys.
those procedurally
We're
generated
peacekeepers. We protect the people
worlds, I
the
guess,
Freestar
and the whole
collected.
world is procedurally generated,
sign up
and then
with
they go
Crimson
in and make a
Fleet.
specific spot and
No
just
one
make it very
quits.
detailed.
The only way out is death.
The path ahead may be dangerous,
Oh, that looks sick.
but we are not stopping.
Most Dusties don't even make it this far.
Because whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity
Wow.
forever.
I feel like you have to watch this in 4K to really do it justice, though.
That gives you a look at the stories in Starfield. But ultimately, it's not our story. It's the story you create by who you are and the choices you make. And that starts with character creation.
Yeah. I mean,
It's our most flexible
you have
yet.
to have a little bit of character
You
creation
can
from
customize all the elements
a
of how you
Bethesda
look.
game. That would be so disappointing if they didn't have something of this caliber. It looks good,
You'll
though.
get a background
Oh.
that gives you 3 starting skills.
No shit.
Says here you spend some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
There are optional traits, and these come with unique advantages and disadvantages.
That's sick.
But it's not just in how you can look, but in how your character plays and develops. The skill system combines the best from our previous games, and you can unlock new skills as you level up. And
Oh
then
my
you
God, it
rank
looks
those
so...
skills up by using them and completing challenges.
That looks
And
really
there's
good.
deep crafting systems, from running research projects with resources you find, to crafting weapon mods needed to survive.
Holy shit. This is insane. I feel like it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. At the start, obviously it looked very
And
good,
you
but I
can
wasn't
build
sort of
your
too
own
blown away by
outposts.
the environment.
These act as a home away from home
But this
for
all looks
survival and resource generation.
crazy now.
You can choose where and how to build each one, and you can hire characters you meet to keep it up and running.
What?
But that's not all. You can even build your own spaceships.
Okay, that should really be a necessity in a space exploration game that's been developed for 7+ years. But oh my, it just looks
can
so
choose crew members.
detailed.
And yes, you can completely customize the look and layout. There's loads of different modules, ship manufacturers, and more.
No way.
I have to say, it's so cool. We just absolutely love this. It's not just how the
You're
ship looks, it's how it
kidding.
performs, from engines to shields to weapon systems, because yes, you can fly it.
Better bloody hope so. Imagine if you couldn't fly it, it was just automatic. That would be such a letdown. Oh my god, it's just everything's so customizable. I can't believe it. And it just looks so unbelievably good. Holy shit. What was that? Balance, lasers, and missiles maybe? Yeah, so I assume not just your ship is customizable, but even like the weapons in it, the different heads-up displays, or the different dashboards that you get to look at. And then the color. There's probably going to be some sort of sacrificial elements to it, so you sacrifice maybe size for speed, but maybe if it's a little bit bigger, it can take more damage and be able to equip better weaponry or something. I don't know, like, I could only imagine they'd go in that direction. Look how detailed all of this is. And this has nothing to do with the planets themselves, right? This is all in space, outside the planets. So you've got these space stations, and it's like, you know, then the question arises, how many space stations? You know, like, does every single planet have a certain amount of space stations, or do they...
We can't wait for all of you to experience the game. Thanks again for being with us today, and thanks for all the support you've given us over the decades, especially on this game. It's been an incredible journey for us making it, but we know that's really only the beginning, for it's when all of you play it that the real journey begins. And you may be wondering, just how big is this game? So we thought we'd take one last moment and show you. Let's take a look at one of our planets, Jemison. You can land in New Atlantis, but you can also land and explore anywhere on the planet.
Okay.
And it's not just this planet. It's all the planets in the system.
How many?
From barren but resource-heavy ice balls to Goldilocks planets with life.
It's
and
like
not just this system,
10 planets?
but over 100 systems. Over 1,000 planets, all open for you to explore. We can't wait to see what you find.
No, fuck. Way. 1,000 planets? How? I feel like this was No Man's Sky's pitch initially, like their scope, this is what they wanted to do. And I mean, obviously, I don't want to talk down about No Man's Sky because they've come a long way, right? The game has gone through so many updates, and it's actually a pretty solid game right now. But this is just taking it to the next level. This is absolutely incredible. Holy shit! Coming 2023. Wow, that was pretty incredible. I think this is probably going to be the best Bethesda game ever, and that is really saying something considering all the previous titles they've had are just like, they're unkillable, you know? Like Skyrim, for example, what's been out like 10 plus years, and games like this just have such a dedicated player base. And especially Bethesda are very open to modding, so imagine the mods you're going to be able to get with Starfield. They open the modding system and they open it up to PC, and obviously there's a lot of customization when it comes to building your own aircraft and things like that, but instead of being able to build your own aircraft with the systems they have for you in game, like the modding system is probably just going to allow you to put, you know, Star Wars spacecraft and whatever else. It's just so hard to visualize what this game could look like in a few years time, you know. So one more thing I want to mention as well, which is I think pretty important for people to understand, they said there were 1,000 planets, or like around 1,000 planets, you know, plus or minus a couple of planets at that point is then pretty irrelevant. But to get that amount of content into a game, it has to be, like I said, procedurally generated. And the only way I guess you can do that is you make a planet, everything is first procedurally generated, and then you go in and you target specific points on that planet, and you build them out a little bit, you know. So you have like, I don't know, 100-meter radius or a few 100-meter radius, and you build like a city and make it very detailed. As soon as you go out of that city, it's then back to this procedurally generated world. And I think how they're going to do this is they're going to have a number of different points on the planet, and maybe some sort of radar or sonar or some sort of navigation system which will then tell you, okay, in this sort of radius here, there might be something worth exploring, or might be something worth your time to take a look at, and then you can specifically go to this spot and you might find something noteworthy. Because with 1,000 planets, you can't expect people to go there and then search every single square meter of that planet just to find everything on there. It's just, I mean, obviously people are going to do that, but to prevent that from being a very monotonous task, you have to give the players a sort of a direction to go in, you know. So I'm pretty sure there will be some sort of navigation system to point players in the right direction. And I mean, even then, you saw when they landed on the planet, the first part of the gameplay we got, a little robot came out and said, based on my calculations, the area or the thing we're looking for right here should be just ahead of us. And he walked, I don't know, what, couple of 100 meters, and then they found that space station. And I think that's pretty much what it's going to be like. You maybe have a navigation system as well in the spaceship, so you land in this spot, and maybe in a couple of 100-meter radius, you'll find what we're looking for. And I think that's really the only way to do it with a game of this size, this scope. But wow, everything we've seen so far looks unbelievable, super happy. Honestly, up to this point, I was a little bit more excited for Avowed, but after this trailer, after this gameplay demo, Starfield is probably just gone to the top of my list. It just looks so good. You could just sink so many hours into this game without even scratching the surface. And that's sort of what I'm scared of, right? Because I'm someone that likes to bounce between games, just because I like to experience as much as I can, and I just really like the games industry in general. I just want to experience everything everyone has to offer, and no one has unlimited time, right? So even attempting to start a game like this is pretty overwhelming. But I mean, that's a pretty good problem to have, obviously. So thanks for watching, guys. I think this is where I'm going to end it. Don't want it to go too long. As a ton more I could say about this game, and I just hope that in the coming months the Starfield marketing just starts to ramp up a little bit, so we see a little bit more gameplay here and there. We might learn a little bit more about the traits and the RPG systems within the game, specifically when you start out, because I think that's very interesting. And also taking a little bit of a deep dive into those traits and those systems sort of give you a better understanding of how complex this game is going to be as well, because there could be some things in there about trading, resource management, resource development, building ships. The amount of things they could build into the character progression in a game like this is just out of this world. I don't know how else to put it. I'm very excited for it. I hope everyone else is excited for it. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is where we're going to stop it here. If you guys are interested in any of the Xbox and PlayStation newest games coming out, I made a list in the description below. You can check that out if you want to. Apart from that, guys, have a good day. Catch you in another video.